Okay, so for this third and final example of infinite limits, we're going to go through and once again divide by the highest power of x that shows up in our denominator. And it's going to be just simply dividing by x. So we're going to go ahead and rewrite our problem. And once again, we're going to divide through by x. So multiply the top and bottom of our function by 1 over x. Now I have to be very careful when we bring our x into our numerator because we're looking at the square root of x squared. So again, typically we think of the square root of x squared as x, but it's actually the absolute value of x. But since we're going to positive infinity, we can just use x. If we were going to negative infinity, we'd have to be careful and use the other definition, negative x. But in this case, we're using the positive x definition, this one here. So again, we're going to go through now and divide. That is the limit as x goes to infinity of the square root of 9x squared plus 4 over x. And down below, we've got a 2x over x plus 5 over x. And again, we can think of that limit upstairs with the square root of 9x squared plus 4 over the square root of x squared divided by, and we'll simplify this down. That's 2 plus 5 over x. And then we can now rewrite that as the square root of a fraction. So that's the square root of 9x squared over x squared plus 4 over x squared. And down below, we've got a 2 plus 5 over x. And this finally simplifies down to the limit as x goes to infinity of the square root of 9 plus 4 over x squared. And then down below, we've got a 2 plus 5 over x. Now we can let the limit go to infinity and pass the limit into each of these terms. My apologies for the break in the video there. We are now going to pass the limit in. So that's going to be the square root of the limit as x goes to infinity of 9 plus the limit as x goes to infinity of 4 over x squared divided by the terms limit as x goes to infinity of 2 plus the limit as x goes to infinity of 5 over x. If we now take these limits, we're going to have in our numerator the square root of 9 plus 0, and then our denominator, that's 2 plus 0. So that's going to be the square root of 9 over 2, which is just 3/2. So our limit, when it's all said and done, is going to be equal to 3/2. So therefore, we have the limit as x goes to infinity of, again, it's back here, the square root of 9x squared plus 4 over 2x plus 5 is equal to 3/2.